Real ID for flight, being required for flight, is a strategy to get you to submit to a national ID. Want to fly? Comply. Well, here's what some people say about this Real ID and the Real ID system. Here's from a New Hampshire State Representative, Joe Alexander, who says the federal government should not be mandating ID for its citizens to travel between states. Just say no. Sarah Palin, former governor of Alaska, says Big Brother is forcing us through more hoops for the right to travel within our own country. Real ID is a national standard and database of IDs that is primarily a tool for control of Americans, says Thomas Massie. And former Congressman Ron Paul says Real ID is one of the greatest threats to American civil liberty in decades. Massie also says Real ID is proof that your physical person matches an entry in the digital database. Its power and purpose will be realized when everyone complies, but not before. Patrick Eddington at Cato Institute says the Real ID Act effectively institutes a form of mass surveillance and verification that does not discriminate between those who have given reason for suspicion and those who haven't. And Oklahoma Senator Kendall Securi, in an emergency petition to Oklahoma Supreme Court just this week, he said an executive agency does not have the authority to unilaterally decide to place Oklahomans' identity data into an interstate data exchange system. Well, let's just look at that. Here is that system, the National Real ID Database located in Mississippi. Probably most of you have not seen this, but it's a contract between AAMVA, the American Association of Motor Vehicle Administrators, and the Mississippi Department of Public Safety. But it's used by most DMVs all around the country to make sure that you can have only one driver's license or one identification card, but it's also a proponent of the Real ID and working to help the entire country be Real ID compliant.